Thank you everyone for coming along. This hopefully will be an informative evening. We have two wonderful guests. We were supposed to have three wonderful guests, but one of them emailed me this afternoon, the sustainability consultant, and said that he wasn't feeling too well, so he couldn't make it. And it was too late to let all of you guys know that I tried my best to find another consultant. I worked all afternoon to find one, so apologies for that. Charles couldn't make it, but we wish him a speedy recovery. So the way this is going to work is it's going to be kind of more informal than normal. I'm just going to sit down here and ask Oliver and Alastair some questions, but use this as an opportunity for networking. This is going to be a really good opportunity for you to network. It's an intimate setting. You're not going to have many events like this where you have two experienced consultants or two experienced people in the profession, and they're here just to share their knowledge with you. So they've given up their time, which we couldn't be more grateful for. If you have any questions, specific questions for the two consultants, if I ask you to leave those to the time when we open that up to the floor, or speak to them individually if you have a personal question. I just want to mention quickly about some of the events coming up, because I know some people here aren't members. So we've got a Youth Mappers event coming up on Thursday in Bancroft 1.15. It's an event to help with humanitarian mapping. So if you're interested in humanitarian work and if you're interested in that sort of thing, you should definitely pop along to that. It's from 6 PM to 9 PM. Next Thursday, we have a charity quiz night for Water Aid. It's going to happen in Drapers from 6 till, I think it's still 6 till 8, but until we get confirmation, it could probably go down to 6 till 7. So it's in Drapers, so everyone knows where Drapers is. It's £2 entry whether you're a member or not a member, because everything goes to charity, and we'll have some prizes for the winners. Teams of 5, so if you want to come on the team. And spread the word about that. We want as many people, and we want to raise as much money as possible for that. So yeah, without further ado, I'll get Oliver and Alastair to give their couple-minute introduction about who they are and how they got here, and then we'll get on to some questions.
I'll start. Hello everybody, I'm Ollie. I work at a company called Steer, based in London, and we are a management consultancy firm, but we specialise in the field of transportation, so we can work across the public and private sector, providing transport consultancy to companies that operate in that space. Work at a company which is about 450 people big, but we have quite a wide footprint across the globe. So we actually have 21 offices in 17 different countries. Our headquarters is in the UK, which is about 250 people in London. So the rest of our offices around the world are small satellite specialist offices, offering particular services to our clients. And I've been at Steer for about 4.5 years. Previous to that, I actually did 10 years, just under 10 years, working in the public sector for Hampshire County Council. My background is I did a degree at Kingston University in GIS and business management. So my career has been very much focused around mapping and spatial data and putting that into a consultancy environment. Even when I worked at the council, I was in a little business unit which sold that service to other parts of the council and also other public services. So we provided support to like the local fire rescue service and other public sector authorities. And I still have to pinch myself that I've managed to make a bit of a career out of essentially making maps, which is what I've done for the vast majority of my career. Over the last few years, I've taken a step back from delivery work and done more business development, so working with some of our senior management team about looking at how we can expand the business in the area in which I operate. That's led to some interesting opportunities and how we go about trying to deliver new work and win new clients. We'll go into some of that in some of the question and answers, but it's been interesting.
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. Awesome.
Hi, I'm Alastair Goggin. I am a senior consultant at Capco. Capco are a financial services consultancy. What does that mean? We are a management consultancy that helps banks solve their problems. my story, I am a graduate of Queen Mary. I graduated in 2013 in business management. Since that time, I worked 7 months in recruiting for management consultancies, and then worked in advertising for 18 months for the client was Mercedes-Benz on their customer relationship marketing. And now I've been at Capco 3.5 years. So in that time, I've worked on Royal Bank of Canada, Deutsche Bank, and Goldman Sachs. I've had a very varied career in different projects, different disciplines, business analysis, project management office, and I guess the main thing here today is to kind of give you an insight into what consulting's like, why I chose consulting, what I like about it, what I don't much like about it, and to hopefully give something back as a Queen Mary alumni that's relevant for you guys to take on. A bit about Capco. I guess we are a global company. We have offices all around the world. In London, we're 1,200 consultants. We work at most of the well-known banks on the high street, investment banks, retail banks. I work for a number of insurance providers. We do everything from kind of business consulting to technology consulting to all the fun stuff around robotics, digital, RPA, blockchain at the moment. So that's it.
Cheers. Do you guys want to talk about
Can touch on it now. So, certainly our company has a graduate recruitment scheme. So once a year we invite applicants to join that program. I've got some details on the back which I can hand out if that's of interest. But the way the grad program works at Steer is it's just under a 2-year program. So if you're successful through applying, you're going through an assessment centre, which is based around it's a day of workshops and setting you guys some tasks and seeing how you tackle those tasks. Once you've got through that process, there's an interview that we do with you, and if you're successful to get onto the grad scheme, it's just under 2 years where you take all a bit of a journey in terms of how we develop you into a consultant. So there's lots of training, lots of support. You get a buddy that mentors you through those 2 years, and very, very quickly, which I think is a really key part of the whole program, is that you do get access to real-world consultancy problems. You get put on consultancy teams, and we build you up, we build your confidence up, we build your skill set up depending on what it is that you're going to focus on. And across those 2 years, you get a chance to pretty much work on most parts of the business.
So that'd be relevant to any of the third years in the room. It's relevant to myself and Ollie. So, and Alastair?
Sure, there is, yeah. So the graduate scheme is called the Associate Talent Programme. It's what I joined in August 2015. It runs throughout the year. So you join with between 10 and 20 people, all from different universities, different backgrounds. Like myself, I worked in advertising before I went and joined Capco. Your first 3 weeks is spent training, so you learn what's consulting like, what do you need to know about finance, what do you need to know about client management, and then you're put onto a client project. So from week 4, you are with a big team. You're not by yourself. You're with a team of people. You're working on real life financial consulting problems. You're given a lot of autonomy, a lot of control, a lot of responsibility, and there is no set time to progress. So if after a year and a half, 2 years, you are showing the performance at the next level, you're promoted, meritorically. So applications are open for that. Details are on capco.com/careers. For the lower years, we also do have an internship program that runs throughout the summer. Again, details are on the website for that. I can give details on the application process either now or later after the session, whatever you guys want.
We do, yes. We've got a couple in at the moment. It's very much driven from business needs sometimes, in terms of we've got the right projects in at the time that we feel to benefit from.
Cool. So there's opportunities for both internships and graduate schemes, both at both companies. So this evening is going to hopefully be very informative for everyone who's here. So just got a bunch of questions here, and I'm mindful of time because I want to allow some time for networking as well. So first one, nice and easy. What makes someone eligible to be a consultant? Is there any sort of set criteria that you have to be? You have to be this, you have to be that, or can anyone kind of come at it from any sort of angle? Either of you can start.
I think you touched on it. Like our grad program, and certainly our business as a whole, there's people, a wealth of different backgrounds, experiences, and skill sets. So there isn't a DNA of what makes a good consultant. It's about I think there's some key skills in terms of communication is a key one. Trying to understand client problems and understanding their needs and how you can document that into deliverables which are essentially going to get agreed and signed off.
Yeah, I think to touch on that, there is no qualification for consulting. There are qualifications if you want to do, auditing consulting or a special type of consulting, but for general business consulting, there isn't a degree or a qualification you have to get. I guess the minimum requirement of Capco is your degree, it's like a 2-1 in your degree, an actual interest in financial services, and maybe the right, attitude and mindset. The main bit of consulting is you are there to help clients solve problems differently. They're there because they either haven't got the capacity or they haven't got the knowledge to do it. So you're not expected to know everything from day one as an associate, but you're expected to have the mentality to go, I want to learn how to do it, and I'm willing to put the effort in to help clients out and to learn quickly.
This one was quite an interesting question that I got from an International Organisations Day conference at LSE on the weekend. And they were talking about when you go for an internship, when you go for a graduate scheme, you have to show interest. And you have to show how you're interested in a subject past your degree, or past your... How would you... obviously you don't work in HR, so you're not... don't feel like you're pressured to answer in that sort of way, but how would someone who has got an interest, how do you show that interest? How do you make that known to an employer? Would that be, do you think, through a cover letter, or would you have to do other extra activities? It's just, I wanted to get your thoughts on it, because I thought it was a really interesting question.
Certainly, just handing over a CV that's not going to make you stand out from the crowd. So, interesting covering letters detailing your relevant experience that you've developed through your course, but maybe also focusing on how you've applied what you've learned to real-world situations, or certainly some of the applications I've seen recently are people going on hack days, for example, off their own back, going to those kind of conferences, showing some kind of desire to go above and beyond in terms of trying to show their interest in the industry. And that's a great way of meeting people, understanding new technology, and also trying to deliver things through a timed, pressured environment, because a hack day is constrained to a day, that kind of thing. So I've seen a few people recently.
Yeah, so through the covering letter, just try and demonstrate some of the extra things you've either gone to or are working on, and that's probably the best.
Yeah, just and have a genuine interest in what you're trying to do. So, I work for a financial services consultancy. So, the questions you'll be asked in the interview and the cover letter will be, why do you want to work in financial services? You don't have to know everything, you don't have to know every reason why, but pick a topic, explain it, and explain why. I like cryptocurrencies. What do you like about them? Why are they going to impact the industry? Use what you're interested in. Why consultancy versus a bank? That's a good question. If you want to work in an industry, why do you want to work in a consultancy rather than that industry? Consultancy for me, if I was to reply, I would go, well, actually, I like the broad spectrum. I get to work with different clients, different problems, and get a view of the industry at a kind of more higher level than working for one company and one way of thinking. So stuff like that, explaining why the topic, why consultancy, why that company as well, why do you want to work for that specific company, are all tips that will get through your cover letter and your interview. I guess the caveat to that is if you are in an interview as well and you're talking about something which you know something about and interested in, but don't know everything about, don't pretend like you know everything, because you're probably speaking to someone who knows a lot more than you. So be inquisitive. Go, I don't know about that, but I would love to learn more.
Would you be able to both describe what a day, a generic question, but would you both be able to describe a day in the life of yourself? So I can imagine your answer might be one of two things: it's very normal or it's very different every day. But if you could both briefly just describe what you get up to every day.
Yeah, I can talk about what we did today.
Yeah, go on.
We've won a project for the GLA, which is the London Authority, to look at crowding in London at major events. So that project kicked off a couple of weeks ago. As part of that project, we've had to do a number of site surveys, visit a number of train stations, tube stations, major event spaces. So I spent the first 3 hours of the day walking around London, taking photos, making notes on how we think what we see on the ground is going to affect our project, and documenting that as part of our method and our assumptions for the model for the building. Then back to the office, and we, as a team that I look after, we put on an event today for an hour to celebrate International GIS Day, which actually happens tomorrow, but we celebrated it today. So we showcased all the work we've done to the company, and that's a really important way of us showing the company the skills we have as a team and how we can add value to the projects that they're delivering. Then that finished, and straight into a call to talk about a proposal that has just been published through a government agency. So we're looking to create a team to respond to that proposal. And then it was about 3:30, and I actually sat down for the first time of the day to do some emailing, to do some correspondence, and going out today. So it's not a typical day, but it's a typical day is a good mix of client work, some internal work in terms of promoting what it is that we do, and also key to the whole world of consultancy is as much of it is not delivering work, it's actually looking at the future pipeline, making sure that you are responding to future opportunities that come in and creating proposals, delivering proposals of high quality to make sure that we can then deliver work. It's a cycle. You win work, you deliver it, and you have to deliver it again.
Yeah, not too much to add. You could have 10 consultants here every day. Everyone's day is different. Every project is different. Every client is different. The one thing you do get is probably a routine on the project. So part of probably what you do as a consultant is add some sort of governance or framework of this is how we are going to deliver the project. So you will get your routine for that project, but you can't use that same framework for the next project. You have to tailor it, you have to tweak it, you have to adapt it to the challenges that you see every day. So every day is pretty different, but you do get into a rhythm. You'll have weekly meetings or weekly or monthly steering committees, or if you're working in an agile environment, you'll have sprints, you'll have scrums, and there'll be a routine, but every day will have a unique challenge and twist to it.
Leading on from that, would you say what you do is fulfilling as a job? Do you find some sort of fulfillment from what you do? And then I suppose leading on from that is what are the good things about the job and what are the bad things about it?
I guess for me, like a Maslow hierarchy needs, like the basic needs are done from a salary point of view. Like consulting, generally well paid, especially in the financial sector. From a intellectual curiosity need, that's met. Like I'm challenged most days. I have future challenges ahead to look forward to. I guess fulfilling wise, the main bit is the people I work with. I think I've always been quite lucky. The teams I've worked in, I've worked with some very good people, both senior and junior to me. Consulting ultimately is a people business, so If you aren't enjoying who you're working around and the work you're doing, then you won't enjoy every day.
Yeah, I think for me it's the people that make the world go round, and yeah, likewise lucky to work in a great company of some very clever people and good people to work with as well. So yeah, it's really a fulfilling job. Also, we're lucky enough as a company to do some really interesting projects which reach the media sometimes in terms of or have presence in the news and people's public domain, which adds a bit of excitement to the work that we do, and yeah, looking forward to the future about future transport needs as well.
What would you recommend someone as a, let's say, first year student, you've got some first years here today, second year student, you've got some second years here, and third years like myself and most of the committee, what would you say some of the things that we should be trying to do during your, is it all about getting internships? Is it all about going to these events? Is there other things, is there other things that you recommend we can do, or is it pretty much internships, events, those sorts of things?
From memory, when I was a student all those years ago, something that really benefited me was getting some work experience when I was at university. I was lucky enough in the town that I lived. There was a small consultancy that focused around GIS and remote sensing, which I just, this was before email, so I wrote them a letter, put it through their letterbox, got a letter back, and they said, yep, come work for us for a few weeks. Went well, got some experience that way. And yeah, that, for me, when I was applying for jobs, demonstrated that I could, not only have a degree, but I had applied it into the real world, which was key for me.
I guess I'd probably just add network. So I didn't get, my job came through a referral. So I had a friend who I've known since school who actually joined the company before me and referred me. So most companies have referral programs. You'll have friends in years above you. I would probably look at what they're doing as well and ask, are their company hiring if they can refer you? Consulting is a people business, so the more events you go to, the more people you connect with, the more people you meet, the more people know you, the more chance of getting a good referral is an extra way to go, you're not just a piece of paper, or someone else has validated you already before you've even applied. For me, that's one of the biggest stamps of approval you can get. I think the statistic like 25% of people who hire at Capco are from referrals. So a quarter of people that we hire on all levels come from someone at the company going, this is someone I know, we should hire them. Just something to think about. A different way to go, well, if everyone's a piece of paper, how can I make myself a person on that page? And using your network, meeting people from different events, going out of your comfort zone to meet people as well. You wouldn't usually, meet at universities. Probably a good way to do that. And that may come through internships, that may come through just events like this.
And what would you say that it's actually more important to know people in the industry you want to work in, or have the knowledge of the industry? Because consulting is very broad, as we've already mentioned. So do you think it's actually, if you want to go, say, for example, into GIS, that sort of consulting or financial stuff, you should know someone in that industry, maybe to even ask them questions, or is that more important than actually having the knowledge of the industry? Because obviously, to get the interview, you might know someone.
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
You can know everyone in the world, but if the people in the room you know nothing about financial services, Capco won't hire you. It's a balance. You have to know someone to help you get you in the room, but you're the only person in that interview room, or the assessment centre. No one else can stand there for you. So it's a balance of both. You have to have the knowledge, you have to have the network. It's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's how you use it. That's what.
No, I guess the kind of work that I do, it is slightly more technical, so we will look for a baseline of technical skills, but yeah.
Summed up pretty well. Would you say it's more important to work in, say for example, you want to work in the private sector, or you want to work in the public sector? Is it, and then you may want to transition to switch sectors. Is it more important that you do one over the other first? You know, obviously, public sector and private sector, they have their different nuances. So would you say, if you're not sure which one you want to work in, and you work in one, and then you realise that, you know, in terms of either internships or work experience, and things like that, do you think it's more important to work in the private or the public, or does it not really matter if you gain that experience in consultancy? I mean, you'd be
you know, I said, joined Hampshire County Council, worked with them for just under 10 years. I loved my time there. It was a really great place to work. Managed to progress, get on the Young Leaders program there in terms of, it's a bit like a grad scheme that the council had in terms of developing those skills. As my 10-year anniversary came up at the council, I thought to myself, I need to find myself a new job or I'm going to be a lifetime. So I'm going to be there for a long time. And that was about the time when public sectors, after financial crash and austerity, they had a lot of their budgets cut. There was a lot of people leaving voluntarily, and a few of my colleagues I worked with left to join consultancy firms, and that just made me think. I know them, but know their skill sets, and pretty similar. Found the job advertised at Steer. Must admit, it was more hopeful than expected when I sent that letter off. Got an interview, two-stage interview process at Steer, that went well, got a good job. Got there, and the culture is quite different between public and private sector in terms of in terms of the speed and delivery of the work that you're expected to deliver, which I actually enjoy. It's one of the frustrations of working in public sector is they can be lots of paperwork, paper trails, lots of committees that just slow down the whole process. Those still exist in the private sector, but the speed at which you do the work is actually quite exciting sometimes. Something I really enjoyed.
I assume you have like the transferable skills, right? Even if you haven't worked in the private sector, like you have the transferable skills and the knowledge to go, I don't know about this, but I have these skills, I can bring them to the table and I can learn the other stuff just as quick.
Because at the end of the day, it's all people skills. Most of the time anyway, the people skills is the same in the public and private sector.
Yeah.
Whether the knowledge is slightly different or the contacts might be slightly different, but really not. Do you get to decide what projects you get to work on as consultants? Is it kind of like a mix of does your senior management kind of say to you, here's an array, which one do you want, or is it kind of, here's one?
Bit of both. Right? No one's going to make you force you on a project you don't want to go on to. But you may be really interested in, say, blockchain projects, cryptocurrencies. But if there's no projects available, you have to go, well, I need to go on something that's different. You might get put onto a tax project, but I guess the joys of my experience is that I've actually been able to work with different clients doing different types of projects. I've worked on technology projects, I've worked on a tax operations project, I've worked on a chassis project, so I've done various different things. The nice thing about consultancy is you have that flexibility to move around to different projects, work with different companies, different clients, especially in my experience anyway. But if you do want to focus on something, you can specialise. But I guess as an associate, as a graduate, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I would kind of go with the flow and then decide as I went up the chain. So.
Yeah, pretty much similar. I manage a small team, so it's probably slightly different. So work requests come in to me, and then I'll work with the team to work out who's best placed, who has the best skills, what's the most suitable skills to do that. So and work up and make sure everyone's happy. We all have a personal development plans at the company, and that's if you're a director or a graduate. So that's things that you want to learn, focus on. So that we build that into how we deliver our project work as well. Like learning on the job is one of the best ways of learning.
And with that, is there opportunities, consultancy, an opportunity to work abroad in terms of projects? How often would you say you have UK versus rest of the world projects?
We, as our little team, we support the globe in their projects that require GIS analytical support. We can do most of that work from London, so there's not too many times we get to jump on a plane. But there have been a few occasions where one of the best projects I've been involved in was working with the City of Panama, where they were implementing a new street naming and numbering system. And a bit of a random project, but really interesting project. It was won via our Bogota office. We had a project team there, but they didn't necessarily have the GIS skills in the team to deliver that side of the project. So I went out to Panama for 2 weeks and Bogota for a week to help facilitate that project. So, I would never go to those two places if it wasn't for that opportunity. So you do get to see parts of the world that you wouldn't necessarily see. And a colleague last week was in China, similar. Was asked to speak at the conference.
It depends on the project. I personally, never got abroad to work. Most of the clients we have are in London, either in Canary Wharf or the city. But I know people who have. So I know an associate who went to Brazil for a year and helped set up a new Brazilian bank up there. So Capco and most other consultancies in finance are global consultancies. They work across the world with the clients in Hong Kong or clients in Brazil. There'll be multifaceted teams, multi-diverse teams across the globe. So there's no reason if you want to go and travel with work, you can do that. If you want to stay in London, financial services is pretty helpful as well. That's the max I have.
I want to open it up to the floor. If anyone has any questions, just raise your hand and Alastair and other folks.
How much of the work do you do in your office hours? That kind of runs over to your personal time?
It's a very good question. I try and find a good work-life balance. I've got a young kid at home, so I don't want to bring that much work home with me. But there are occasions when you have to carry on doing a little bit of work, but it's not that often. We try to manage our projects in a way that they get delivered during Monday to Friday business hours, and sometimes there might be a particular important deadline that we have to meet where we might have to stay a few hours one evening just to get something out the door, but it doesn't happen often. I don't look forward to it, so try not to do it.
Yeah, same here. Like you shouldn't really your clients are paying for you for a set number of hours. If you are working over that time, there's either two things: either you've been given too much scope to doing that, too much to delivering the time that's there, or you haven't got the capacity or capability to do it. So I guess it depends on the project as well. If you have a very short, like a 4 or 5 week project, it's a tight deliverable. You may be working long hours, but the general projects I've been on that are a year, 2 years long, like there are peaks and there are troughs. Like there are times where you are working to get a deadline to be met, and there are times where you're working 9 to 5. Like the fact that I'm here today should kind of show the flexibility that you kind of create in your career as well, in your day. The main thing as well as client management is time management. You have to manage your time, you have to prioritise, and as long as you're clear around what your priorities are as well, that work-life balance is the most important thing, because no one wants a consultant who's completely burnt out and can't function and can't have a social life outside of working hours.
Any other questions?
So recently completing situational judgment tests and graduate applications, and sometimes there's questions where there's like a right or wrong, like can kind of tell. But sometimes there's questions where it's really mixed and like, if you were in that situation, you could do any of those things. So what are your suggestions for kind of going through that and picking an answer to a question that can be really kind of just open-ended and any answer could be correct?
This is the test itself, yeah? Like the situational test.
Yes,
Yeah, fine.
In a question.
It's been a while since I've done one.
Yeah, I know.
How would I approach it now? With a consulting mindset, I'd either try and work out what the lesser of the evils was. I think that's how I would approach it. I don't know, again, I'm trying to think of time limits. I know it's a situation where everything looks to be right. I try and think of the implications after that, or I try and think about who wrote the question. Like, what did they write in the question that they're trying to get me to think about here? I don't know if you've got an example of one, but I guess for me it's thinking about, if I can't work out what they all are, I try and break out what I think the lesser of the two evils would be. I guess in real life application, it's more about how you react to the situation after that. Like, everyone makes mistakes, it's part of life. No consultant has sat here and will tell you that they've done everything perfectly. The main bit will be around how you react to those mistakes, how you then adapt from there as well. So that's I guess the practical advice. I know it's probably not too helpful for your test, but if anything, if it's a little bit, then.
No, I think one of the things that we look out for in our graduate assessment centres and some of the questions and tasks that we get set is sometimes there isn't a right answer, or the question that we've set, the answer is impossible to get. But what we're looking for is can you come up with a sensible method on how you would get to that question or get to that answer, and can you put a structured bit of analytical framework together to go, right, well, this is the question, this is how can we get to that answer? Can we put a flow chart together on data sources that we use, assumptions that we use in our work, and if we can see that, then we can, that's consulting. That's looking at a problem that a client has set, and we sit around the table and try and work out how to give them an answer.
Any other questions? Yeah. So, you just mentioned mistakes. Have you guys ever made a mistake, and how did you handle that?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Good one. Yeah, you can, I think, trying to think of mistakes. There's probably presentation. I think when I first started, I was very keen to get everything out quickly. I think you feel that time pressure when you first start as a graduate. You're like, oh my God, I've got to do this job, give it to me, and I've got to do it right now. You do something, you rush it, and you show it to your manager, and they go, this is not what I wanted. And actually, it's amazing when you just pause and you take a second, how much time you actually have, and actually even asking the question, well, when do you need this by? Just because a client or a senior partner gives you something to do there and then, and you may rush and go and do it, without asking the question, actually, when do you need this by? What is it for? Why do you need it in this way? Can I do it this way? Taking that time to ask the question, pause, think, and then actually just set a boundary. And also say, you haven't got capacity to do it. I can't do this today. I've actually got my son's birthday party, or I'm going to a show, but I can get it to you at this point, or I can help find someone to do it. Like, that kind of ability just to pause, take a second, is something that I had to learn the hard way. I learned through doing. Probably more than once. Probably still have to sometimes get myself and go, right, I'm doing too much, take a second, prioritise, and go again.
Yeah, absolutely. Managing your time and understanding what it needs to do is key. But yeah, we're all humans. We make mistakes, and so once you put your hand up and if you realise you made a mistake in work, it's not the end of the world. So actually, just realised not put that formula in properly in that Excel spreadsheet, and it's thank my answer. And as long as you it's better to let people know that you've made a mistake, something's not gone wrong, rather than ignoring it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that will come back. It will come back and bite you.
later down the line.
Definitely being honest, and I think something I've done recently, kind of stepping up more into kind of a manager role, is asking the question of where something hasn't done something or made a mistake, asking them as a person, like why they made that mistake, and it's usually down to two things: it's capacity or capability. They haven't got the capacity to do it, haven't got the time to do what you've asked them to do, or they don't know how to do it. And actually, if you can try to work out one or a combination of those things, you can actually solve a problem better. And it's funny, it took my manager to sit down with me and take the time to work out what was going on in my personal life to actually work out and improve the quality of my deliverables. And this was maybe 6-9 months ago. It wasn't a long time ago. So even now, just remembering that consultants and even clients are human. You can work out the human reason behind it. You can probably work out the reason why the mistake was made and actually fix it at source rather than let it happen again.
Thanks for your time and your advice. I just wanted to ask if you could give some examples of types of consultants you have in your teams or other people around you, so that we just get an idea of how broad this field can be.
Yeah, well, we're a really broad spectrum of consultants at our company. So the team I look after is very analytical, so GIS analysts, data analysts. We've then got, I work with a team called Design for Movement, which is all around how we can come up with innovative ways of helping people find where they need to travel around cities, so wayfinding strategies. So we have a team of designers, a team of digital consultants as well, so developers. And then upstairs we've got financial modelers who are looking at financial modelling type work. We've got very specific industry specialists as well, so it could be a train stock specialists, tell you the difference in the types of trains that are on the network, all that kind of stuff. But the vast majority of our consultants that come in will have they'll have a geography degree, for example, that they work with a sustainable transport team or a major development team or something like that. So.
Pretty similar with us. So you have kind of like developers, we have a lot of the agile coaches now, which is quite on trend. So there's plenty of different roles you can get into. And I've had a chance, I've mainly done business analysis and project management in my time. So you normally get hybrids of roles as well. And then, as you said, SME, if you want to learn something, you want to become a FX trading expert, that might be your core SME, subject matter expertise. So.
How are the interactions between consultants and the clients? Like, is it very collaborative, or is it just like they tell you what they need fixing and that's it?
Both. Projects that I enjoy, the collaborative approach, where you're really working with a client to work through their issues, and they're actually sometimes the experts in understanding the root cause of the issues. They'll have some ideas. They usually have the data that we need, and working with them to get the most out of that is key. But I've got other clients who will be like, the rent's coming up in my office, I need to move my business, tell me where I should be looking to relocate my office. And that's the brief. You go away, give them the answer, they come back and go, thank you. So opposite ends of the spectrum from us.
Yeah, and you kind of learn that. I've learned that through Capco. So we do a lot of training around client profiles, mainly around their kind of personality and their client type. We have it. So you'll have clients who are very dominant, who will just want, this is what I want, this is when I want it, no BS. You'll have other clients which are kind of quite passive, they're team players, but they won't want to drive things. They'll know what they want, they want to take time, they want to, they don't want to move the project as quickly as you need to. I guess the main bit I found is that you have to build trust, and it takes time. There are very few clients who will just open arms, welcome consultant, we really appreciate your opinion today. Because usually, as I said, they're the experts. You're going into someone else's business who has worked there maybe 10, 25, 30 years, and you're trying to tell them how to do their job slightly differently. It's never going to be welcome with open arms, but it's how you build that trust. You build it over time, you do it through good, solid work, you do it through understanding what they like. If a client likes detail, you give them detail. If a client likes getting things done, get it done. And you adapt. That's, I guess, one of the key skills you'll need as a consultant. How to adapt to the problem or the person that's in front of you. And I guess learning how to think differently. If you're told no, and we don't want to do it that way, right, how can I sell it, how can I package it, how can I think differently to make that person believe that you as a team can get the job done.
Once you have that trust in the right environment, it's really good for continual business development with that individual. If they know you, they like you, they know they deliver that piece of work for them. If they're allowed to in procurement circles, they just come back to you next time.
They'll buy you again, but that's what it's about. You're representing your company's brand. If they like you, they like the team, they like the company, they'll buy from you again. Might not be straight away, but it might be 5 years down the line. So, you'll develop your client network. Even if you don't like them personally, as long as you can get on with them professionally, that's the key. Good question.
I'd like to just wrap up, so it's getting some time for networking as well. Would you guys mind briefly for like 30 seconds summing up what you think, what would be a really good takeaway from this whole panel about what you need to be a consultant, or what your key message is for how you go about doing what you do every day, and why you enjoy it, or why you think you need more consultants in the field, or something along those lines. Just 30 seconds, very brief.
Yeah, I mean, most important thing is to enjoy what you do, I think. So, if you think consultancy is something you're interested in, then start looking at networking events that allow you to meet people. As you said earlier, if you've got friends who are already in a company and they're really happy where they are, see if there's any needs there. And then, if you're more technical, go to hack days, get used to that collaborative working environment with people you don't know, and see what you get out of it.
Yeah. Be inquisitive, be passionate, and be friendly. Like, there's nothing really else. Consulting or whatever career you decide to go into. If you want to learn more, you're passionate about what you do, and you're nice to the people around you, then it will come back to you and come. You don't need to rush either. I know there'll be a lot of pressure on trying to get into the right place or the perfect place, or any place. I guess I rushed my decision out of graduation. I didn't really take the time. I took the first job that was offered to me in a recruitment firm, which was fine, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. The bit of patience to go, actually, I'm looking to do something more different. More different, not word. Something different. I'm going to take my time, but I would just take your time, be inquisitive, be passionate, be friendly, and you'll do fine. You'll have great careers. I trust that.
Can we get a round of applause for us? So, if you guys want to network with Alastair, I don't know how long they'll be around for, but I'm sure.
I've got it.
So we've got the room till 7:30, so it's about 40 minutes. I don't know if we'll need that much time, but
Yeah, we'll have a chat.